Well, hello there, ladies. Are you feeling overcommitted? Of course you are. And of course, I'm not talking about the sort of overcommitment that one might argue stems from agreeing to marry somebody that you only met 2 weeks ago. Sanctity of marriage, ambition, it's fabulous. But I'm talking about the sort of overcommitment that is very common at this time of the year. We're leading into the festive season, and of course, we've all agreed to host Christmas, haven't we? Yep. Because you bought a big dining table when it was only your husband and yourself. You have now got space for the entire family, 2 families even, to come to your house for Christmas lunch. Now, if Christmas lunch at your place is anything like it is at mine, you would have already dealt with probably half an hour or an hour of frantic consumerism in your lounge room. You've probably got Christmas paper everywhere. Somebody's going to clean that up later. Look after yourselves, children. That's ambitious, isn't it? Yep. So you probably dealt with that, and of course now it's time to move on to cooking the Christmas lunch. Cooking Christmas lunch, it sounds very simple, but I don't think that really a lot of people who think that cooking Christmas lunch is just, get some food, slap it on the table, it'll be right. They don't really take into account the hours of planning and purchasing and storing. I mean, I've got a fridge back there. It's full of condiments. Storing actual fresh food is a feat in and of itself. But just assume that we've managed to get through all of that, and we are actually about 10 o'clock on Christmas morning, still bleary-eyed. Maybe you've managed to get a coffee into you, maybe not, and you are there in the kitchen slaving away. You've probably got half an hour before your family starts arriving, because apparently pre-lunch drinks and canapes are now a thing. Yep, it's no longer good enough to just have people turn up at midday and chuck them a coldie and wait half an hour for them to sit down at the table. You now need to add some sort of festive concoction or cocktail to your list of things to do this morning, plus make some finger food. Anyway, in amongst all that, you probably haven't had time to get some slap on your face, and it's not good enough, ladies. Creating the illusion that you've got your shit together involves putting a full face of makeup on, and if you don't have one when your guests arrive, you are running the real and serious risk that they're going to report you to docs. I'm not one for dramatics. Anyway, ladies, I've got a solution for you. Today we're going to do a face consisting of things that we find around our house when we're making Christmas lunch. First, we're going to start with a base. As I like to say, a basic base. It's always a good starting point. The astute, eagle-eyed, independent observers among you may argue, Entitlementary, you look like you've already got makeup on. Now, you would be correct, independent observers, just as I don't agree with, or I attempt not to show my children's faces when I'm blogging. I also don't agree with showing my hideous natural skin to the undervalued childcare workers that I dropped my child off to this morning. That's our nearly 4-year-old child. Probably should say, I think a number of times in these videos I've actually mentioned that she's a toddler, a preschooler, a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old. She's 4 next month, so they're all the same person. Only got 2 children. One of them is nearly 4, nearly starting preschool. The other one is asleep in his cot right now. While some people might be able to have that many children, with my fertility history, that would be frankly impossible. Fail at making babies. Anyway, let's get to the base. Custard powder. This one is sort of slightly pink. As some of you who are aware of makeup selling principles, you would be aware that that skin tones are generally divided into warm and cool skin tones, or pink undertones and yellow undertones. You'd be aware from watching my vast multitudes of other videos that I live in Canberra, and as such, I, along with my skin, am apolitical, so I'm fairly neutral. What that means when I'm purchasing makeup, if I go to MAC, I usually buy an NW liquid base, and then I put an NC powder on the top of it, just to really sit on the fence there. This custard powder, it's kind of pinky, but I think custard should be yellow, so I'm just going to see how it goes. I'm going to mix this one. I'm not going to use water. Probably you would normally use water to, I don't know how to make custard. Whatever, that you probably can tell by the fact that this is ancient custard powder and it's sitting in a very fancy glass jar. I'm going to mix it up with something that I found in my condiments pile. I'm going to use some Hinode mirin, which is a Japanese sweet cooking sauce. I think that the viscosity of this is probably going to work a little better when we make a makeshift base. So we're going to mix it in. Oh, look at that. That's going quite orangey yellow. That's cooking science for you people. Mix it up. Yep, some good lumps in that one. And we're going to get it onto our face. Now some of you might be looking at that vast quantity of sauces behind me and you might be thinking, Entitlementary, with those sauces and your girth, you look like you might be a fan of MasterChef. No people, I do not watch MasterChef. I know, it's a surprise. I actually worked in hospitality in my younger years. As a young person, hospitality and cooking, it's really a young person's sport. I'm gonna say, look, there's more to cooking, there's more to chefing. They're all aspiring chefs than a set of copper-based saucepans and some global knives, my friends. I would really like to see some of those contestants go from a midnight Sunday close through to Tuesday lunch service on a bender with some chefs and see how they pull up. That's going to be an interesting series of television for us all to watch at home. Anyway, there we go. Look, we've got some colour. We look like we've been to the beach. Maybe you're cooking Christmas lunch at your beach house this year. Living in Canberra, many of us have houses down the coast. I'm not one of those many people. Anyway, it's something to aspire to. Aspirational, as I like to say. Look, we've got a base. Instant shine. Our skin is, you know, now looking pretty healthy. I do have a little bit of a pink flush, and I'm pretty sure that as Christmas morning goes on and I get onto those fancy cocktails that I have whipped up for my friends and family, that pink flush is going to get worse. So I think I'm going to need to do a little bit of colour correction before we move on with this look. Just give me 1 minute. I'm sure that here above the fridge we've got something that we can use. Now this is a tea cupboard, and aha! Memory did serve me correctly. The months of sleep deprivation have taken their toll, but I still remember where the matcha powder is. Matcha is a very fancy Japanese drink, and I recommend that you buy it if you want to appear cultured to your friends. Anyway, if we can get the lid off this, there we go. Pop! It's a delightful green colour. I'm going to brush some of that on just on the top. Usually you'd put colour correction underneath your base, but never mind. Look at that. Taking the pink out across our chest as well. Good, that's great. Look at that. You'd never know that I was flushing. It's hormonal flushes or alcohol flushes, it doesn't really matter. Matcha does it all. Good, look at that. Gin blossoms on the nose, disappearing instantly. Wonderful. Moving on, I think we're going to need to do a little bit of a contour because obviously the Christmas season is no longer just the week before Christmas. It starts in and around the end of August when the Christmas decorations start going out. So I've been eating chocolate marshmallow Santas since that time. As you can see, as we mentioned earlier, the girth. I'm going to do a bit of a contour to create those old cheekbones. Today I'm going to use vanilla bean paste. Pretty good. It's a good deep colour. Once again, as I mentioned, if you've been at the beach, this is probably going to work quite well for you. If you haven't been at the beach, probably maybe some coffee grounds might work quite well. If you've got a light roast, that's going to be a bit more natural. But anyway, we're going to pretend that I've been at the beach. Yep, that's good. Look at that. It's a good, as I say, shadow underneath where my cheekbones would be if I had them. Let's go with that. We're going to contour the old jawline around here. That's great. A little bit on the top here. I am a little bit puffy today. Up here, here we go. There we go. That's wonderful. It's so well blended too. We might need to find something to blend in a minute. But yeah, we'll go with the sides of the nose. And that's pretty good. Once again, it's going to be a bit of a summery look. It's a festive look and a summery look. So I think we're going to go with a little bit of bronzer on the top. Bronzer. Let's have a look. What have we got over here? Crushed chili. That's probably a little bit dangerous. Oh, here we go. Look. Turmeric. It's a wonder food. Superfood. You put this into your coffee You can call it a turmeric latte, and along with the matcha powder, your friends will think that you are a gourmand. So let's go with that. Obviously the aim of bronzer is to mimic where the sun would naturally hit you. Now with this skin, as you can see, that's my natural skin tone there. The sun hits me everywhere and the results are generally not very pretty. But just pretend that we've got skin that turns a delightful tan colour rather than pink. We're going to assume that we're probably going to be the sun here. Bit of sun here on the bridge of our nose, a little bit here on our chin, and of course across the cheekbones. And it's good that we're using a yellow tone bronzer here because it's it would be counterintuitive with the pink flush to be using something with a pink tone today. So that's good. I'm sorry about the rustling. Just pretend it's your children cleaning up those trees worth of wrapping paper in the kitchen. In the living room, sorry. It's always good to have hopes and dreams, I find. Let's go with the cheeks again. We've already got quite a lot going on the cheeks. It's pretty surprising, but I think that we do need a little bit of a lift. So something pink toned is probably a good idea. Once, as I said, you know, it's a summer face, it's a festive face. I'm going to go have a look in the fridge for that. So just bear with me for a minute. Probably got some good options in here. Let's that looks promising. It looks promising, people. Reporting back, it looks promising. I've got a lot of options. It's good. Okay, so we've got 3 options here. I'm going to give you options because it's good to be, you know, resilient and flexible over the festive season. It's really the key to having a good Christmas. So, you know, if you've got cranberry sauce, that's a good option. That's one option that you could be using. If you've got a mother that has cooked you vast quantities of rhubarb for your small child to enjoy, that's another option. You could use the rhubarb. Or if you have an ancient Tupperware container full of beetroot in the fridge. Beetroot is very festive. It's very Australian. Everyone seems to put little containers of beetroot on their table at Christmas time. You could go with that. I think I'm going to go with that today because beetroot is a nice round shape and it's going to give us a bit of a stencil. So if stencils are very big in makeup at the moment. So I'm going to stencil with a couple of slices of beetroot onto my cheeks, just across the apples to give us a natural flush. Here's the beetroot. There's the stencils. Just leave it to sit for a few minutes. Take it off, and as you can see there, that's a nice natural glow. I'll throw those beetroots over there into the sink. We're not heathens here. We're not going to serve them up to our friends afterwards. Okay, so I think we've got a good base going on. We're going to go on to the eyes now. Now, I'm thinking probably what we're going to need to do is a little bit of a shadow, a little bit of a highlight, and maybe a liner as well. So for the shadow, I'm going to go back to the fridge. One moment, people. Here we can see I've found some berries. Now, these ones are not looking that great. They're a little bit squished, they're a little bit old. It doesn't matter though, because you can either put them in a smoothie for your child, or you can squish them and put them onto your eyelids. And that's what we're going to do now. We've taken 2 berries, squish, and just rub across the lids. Yep, that's great. Look at that. That's a really nice festive kind of colour. It's giving a shadow and the illusion of having a deep crease and a bit of mystery. That's quite good. Excellent. Now, liner. This is going to be tricky, I think. It's going to be a little bit difficult to come up with a liner idea. Oh, okay. I am legitimately stumped as to what I could use. I've got sauces over here. Some teriyaki sauce. I've got some, what's this? Chunking vinegar. That's probably not going to be a good idea around the eyes. Probably not a good idea. Hang on, let me check the pantry. Aha, aha. Here we go. Look at this. I've got a half-eaten block of Lindt chocolate. Now, if you're going for a very dramatic look, you're probably going to want to use the 80% or so chocolate. Today, I'm going to go for a more natural look. So I've just got the Orange Intense, which is also going to go well with the orange tones of the bronzer that I put on my face. Now, to get this to work, I don't think we're going to have much luck simply smearing it onto our face. We're probably going to need to melt it a little bit. So let's think, what are we going to use? Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute, MasterChef generation. Bear with me. You just saw my cat there, by the way. We are in a very hygienic household here. Aha, okay people. The old scan pan here. Old scan pan Duvalaki. This one, the flint doesn't work on it anymore. It is full of gas though, I think. So I'm going to use a cigarette lighter. Don't smoke, but you know, it's good to have these things around the house. There we go, look at that. That's a nice flame. What we're going to do with that one is find our chocolate. Here it is over here. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of a melt. Now this is quite waxy. It's a high cocoa content anyway, so it's probably going to give us a good pigment payoff. It's probably going to last for quite a long time as well, I think. The fact that it's got the high cocoa content also means a payoff that it's got less sugar, so it's going to probably not catch fire as well as, or melt as well as perhaps your bog standard Cadbury dairy milk might. But anyway, you can still go. Look at that. Okay, we've got a nice, oh, that is burning a little bit. Never mind. Look at that. Ah, good. A nice precise line. And the orange intense chunks as well are really doing wonders, I think, for the skin on my eyelids. Fabulous. Look at that. That's a good, it's almost a cat eye that we've got going on. Let's see if I can replicate that. There. Wonderful. It's delicious as well. Anyway, I think that's I don't know if we're going to need mascara today. I think the liner is probably going to do enough of that. We might just smudge it a bit because that's a bit of a more natural look. That's good. We've also got some more to eat, which is quite good. Anyway, I think I'm just about ready. With the brows, probably just a little bit of definition is going to be required. So I might just go in with some, what have we got here? Some sushi and sashimi soy sauce. I've got a selection of soy sauces over there. This one's going to do. Bit of that into a bowl. We've got a spatula here, so we'll just, for definition and preciseness, we're going to go on with that one there. It's a bit like a tint. If you leave it on for long enough, it's probably going to do you for the whole summer, ladies. Be at the beach and you'll have surf-proof brows. Wonderful. That's good. And I did say I was going to do a bit of a highlight on the brow bones. Now it's festive season. If you could find some glitter, that would be great. Is there glitter in this kitchen? Look, frankly, I wouldn't be surprised. Just within reaching distance, and I have not set this shot up, within reaching distance in this kitchen, things that are not food, a set of colours, shapes and more cards, because I'm hot housing my child. She's going to dominate at preschool next year. I've also got an asthma puffer. She was born with respiratory distress syndrome and it hasn't got better from there. I've got my husband's Garmin sports watch. It's probably not going to be doing much good to us today though. I do have, let's have a look here. Oh, what's this? Milky Top Freddo Frog. You might find some of these in your children's stockings if you do that. Obviously I know what they look like because I've eaten quite a lot of them already. We've got this one here and it's got the white chocolate, so we can probably use the white chocolate as a highlight. Not sure if I'm going to need to use the old Bernie puffer here. Let's have a look and get it to white again. Oh, don't have time for that. Don't have time. Let's just get the old ciggy lighter out, hey? There we go. I don't know how old this cigarette lighter is. Probably quite old. There we go. You can see the contrast here in the sugar content. This one's burnt quite quickly. But anyway, it's good. You can just go with a quick highlight. Highlight onto the brows. And you are set, ladies. Look, if I've got one tip for you over Christmas, just don't do it. Take your family out to the Hyatt or to the local club. Do a picnic. Just anything. Take yourselves to Aunt Cheryl's house. Don't host it at home. But if you must, this face will see you through. Have a very, very Merry Christmas.